You've imagined it 1,000 times: the sunrise on the ramp, your hand on the throttle, the clear communication in your headset. That dream can end prematurely if you fall into 5 common pitfalls. Before you invest a single dollar in your training, consider these 5 critical lessons to avoid wasting thousands of dollars and months of effort. The first lesson is one many pilots learn just before their first check ride, when it's most expensive. Trap 1. School selection. The first pitfall is selecting a flight school based on price alone, as if you were shopping for a discount item. Instead, approach this as if you're conducting a job interview. You are hiring a partner for one of the most significant educational investments of your life. Begin with due diligence. Review the FAA's accident and incident reports for every school in your area. Next, conduct a sunrise test. Arrive unannounced around 6 a.m. If the first aircraft on the line is clean, fueled, with its logbooks in order, and an instructor is already preparing, that's a positive sign. Finally, schedule 2 separate discovery flights, one with the chief flight instructor and another with a newer instructor. If their teaching methods are consistent, it indicates strong standardized procedures. Inconsistent instruction between staff is a major red flag, suggesting a lack of management oversight and standardized training, which can lead to confusion and gaps in your knowledge. Trap 2. The medical certificate. The next trap is treating your medical certificate application as a trivial piece of paperwork. Securing your medical should be your first step, long before you pay for a discovery flight. Schedule an appointment with an aviation medical examiner and arrive prepared with a truly comprehensive medical history. Any condition, medication, or past procedure must be disclosed. If the AME requires additional tests or documentation, you'll have the time to procure them without the pressure of having already spent money on flight hours. Discovering you need a special issuance medical certificate after you've started training can halt your progress for months or even years while you navigate the complex FAA review process. This is also the time to inquire about the feasibility of basic med for your situation, as it has its own distinct requirements and limitations. Trap 3. Inconsistent training. A third mistake is treating flight training like a casual hobby with long breaks between lessons. Flying is a perishable skill, and consistency is key to retention and progress. When you go weeks without flying, you spend the first half of your next lesson just relearning what you forgot, effectively paying twice for the same knowledge. This decay applies to everything from the feel of a flare to the flow of a checklist. This lack of momentum kills confidence and inflates your total cost. Instead, plan to fly at least 2 to 3 times per week. This steady rhythm keeps the material fresh and allows you to build on each lesson efficiently, turning complex procedures into second nature. Maintaining this momentum is the most effective way to complete your training near the minimum required hours, which is the single biggest factor in controlling total cost. Trap 4. Financing your training. The fourth pitfall is financing your entire training with a single large loan without scrutinizing the interest rates. A more prudent approach is to layer your financing. If possible, pay for your private pilot certificate with savings, scholarships, or supplemental income. This initial rating is the highest risk phase for lenders, often resulting in higher interest rates. Once you have that certificate, you are a more proven candidate for financing. Then, secure separate, smaller loans for your instrument and commercial ratings as you need them. By the time you pursue your certified flight instructor rating, you will be on the cusp of earning an income from flying. This layered strategy not only reduces your total interest paid, but also maintains financial flexibility if you encounter delays in training. Trap 5. Your flight instructor. The final trap is assuming your first flight instructor must be your only instructor. An instructor-student relationship is fundamental, but a second opinion is invaluable. Approximately every 20 hours, schedule a progress check flight with a senior instructor you haven't flown with before. This serves as an informal stage check and a quality control measure. If their feedback aligns with your primary instructors, you can be confident in your progress. However, if they identify several new areas needing improvement, you may have just received critical feedback that could prevent a check ride failure. This isn't about disloyalty, it's about taking ownership of your training and ensuring you are receiving the highest quality instruction. A good flight school will support and encourage this practice. In summary, let's set the checklist aside for a moment and review. Vet your flight school as if your career depends on it, because it does. Secure your medical certificate before you make any significant financial commitment. Maintain a consistent training schedule to build and retain skills efficiently. Structure your financing strategically, building it up in layers. And finally, don't hesitate to seek a second opinion on your training progress. By following this advice, you will approach your check ride with confidence, currency, and financial stability. If you found this guidance helpful, please consider liking the video to help other aspiring pilots discover it. For a list of reputable flight training resources, please see the links in the description below. If you have a personal story about a pitfall you avoided, share it in the comments to help the community. Blue skies and tailwinds.